Learners with physical disabilities, speech impairment, and then multiple physical impairment. Speech impairment. Speech or language impairment means a communication disorder such as stuttering means is a speech disorder characterized by repetition of sounds, syllables or words, prolongation of sounds, and interruption in speech known as blocks like for example this one.
My name is damn it, Julian.
Impaired articulation, a language impairment of voice impairment, and that adversely affect a child's educational performance. Problems with speech and communication can be helped through speech therapy, which helps the child develops his or her communication skills. There are any kinds in speech and language disorder that can affect children. In fact, we talk about four major areas in which these impairments occur. There are the area of articulation, the production of the speech sounds. Speech impairment, where the child produces sounds incorrectly. Example, difficulty articulating certain sounds such as I or R. Fluency, speech impairment, where the child's flow of speech is disrupted by sounds, syllables, and words that are repeated, prolonged, or avoided, and where there may be silent blocks or inappropriate inhalation and exhalation. Voice, speech impairment, where the child's voice has an abnormal quality to its speech, resonance of or loudness. And language, language impairment, where the child has problems expressing needs, ideas, or information, and or in understanding what others say. These areas are reflected in how speech or language impairment is defined by the nation's special education law. IDEA is the law that makes early intervention services available to infants and toddlers. Students with language disorder may have trouble understanding of being understood through all forms of communication, verbal or nonverbal, in reading, writing, and speaking. To support students in your classroom, move kids closer to you. Having kids sit closer to the front of the class makes it easier to help them with questions and assignments. Give extra time to complete assignment or make up work when needed. Substitute written papers or projects for oral presentations or allow students to demonstrate learnings one-on-one with you. Asking questions in a way that let the students give a brief answer can also help. Use technology to make learning easier. A special education teacher, speech language pathologist, or the student's family may be able to suggest the best programs or devices to use. Be patient when students with speech disorders speak. Be a role model to your other students about the importance of not interrupting and letting people finish their own sentences. Talk about and celebrate differences. No bullying. Sometimes the persons who have special needs they're targeted by the others. Multiple physical impairment. Multiple physical impairment means a student has more than one serious disability, which may affect mobility behavior, emotion, or sensory abilities. Physical disabilities impairment may have an impact on some or all activities to a greater or lesser extent. Students with physical disabilities may have problems related to movements, postures. Example, sitting, standing, manipulating objects, communication, eating, perception, reflex, movement. Students with physical disabilities and neurological conditions may also have difficulties in some various forms. They have difficulties in hearing or sight, while others can see or hear but cannot process information they receive. This can cause difficulties with reading and writing.
Different types of physical disabilities: cerebral palsy, non-progressive lesion to the brain that affect the motor movement; spinal bifida, paralysis due to damage to the spinal cord; muscular atrophies, weak muscles, delayed in motor development; spinal muscular myopathies, low muscle tones; osteogenesis imperfecta, brittle bones.
Common accommodations. The following accommodations and classroom adaptations are the list of suggested accommodations, but are not comprehensive or exhaustive, nor will all accommodation listed be necessary in all cases. Other accommodations may be implemented based on the individual's needs of each student as recommended by your campus disability service, office of other professional. Common characteristics of students with physical disabilities: has a unique needs in terms of physical space, or has difficulty using chairs or tables in the classroom or lab. So commonly suggested accommodation or classroom adaptations: create physically accessible environment that is not mobility limited. Students need specialized transportation. Be flexible with the schedule. Students may arrive late or have to leave before the class is overdue to adapted transportation services. Is often physically unable to hold a pen and write for extended periods of time, or may experience challenges with input, output, and information processing when working on assignment tests and or exams. Use of assistive technology like computer assistive software, mini recorders, and other. Use of a scribe or speech-to-text software to record answer or test or exams. Provide a room other than the classroom for exam if required. Students has difficulty finishing assignment and or test is allotted time. Extra time for tests and exams and perhaps some components of coursework. Experiences challenges with daily living activities and mobility. Ensure all off-site activities are accessible or provide alternative assignment options. Individuals with a motor disability sometimes use a service animal, which is usually trained to respond to unique commands.